Yo.
Hey, the
Hey.
man himself.
What's good, boys? It's good to
What's
finally
happening,
meet
man?
y'all.
Good to
Great to
meet you
meet
too,
you,
man.
man.
Yeah, man, it seems like no matter where you go right now, it's Crack Amico. I listening to the On Perks
Yeah.
audiobook, leading it off, the great Crack Amico.
Genius.
Great track too. Did Mike come to you for that, or how'd that come about?
Yeah, appreciate it, by the way. But yeah, he came to me. He sent me is my volume good, by the way?
Yeah,
I
you're
haven't
good,
noticed
man. You're
it.
good.
Cool, man.
Love the studio, by the way. It's
Yeah.
fucking fantastic.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. As you can tell, I'm a super fan of a
Hey.
lot of shit. But
All the right
but-
shit.
yeah. um but yeah, man, he came to me in the DMs. He slid in and he was like, "Hey man, I got this idea. I think it'd be perfect if you opened up the audiobook for me." And I was like, "Fuck yeah. How much when do you need it by?" And he was like, next weekend if you can." I was like, "Shit, well, I guess I better start now." But yeah, that shit was it was dope. It was fun, man. I love I've been making music for a long time, and there's different inspirations for different shit, different moods you're feeling, but it's cool when somebody hits you with the premise. And obviously I've made a lot of songs where it has a certain premise going in, but when you get one you like, it just gets those creative juices kind of flowing. And I fuck with that shit. I like making songs about shit. It's fun
Yeah.
and it's funny. So
Well,
Clearly you're good at
yeah,
it.
yeah, you're very good at and the term or the phrase city of brotherly love. Now it's like, it's ingrained in everybody now. It's perfect.
It's irrevocable.
What's funny too is that was literally the only, I think if anybody's seen the clip of when they're reacting to it, Butterly's like, "Yo, he must have been sitting on this shit because that shit is good." And to be honest, the only thing that I had going in was like, I had already thought of at some random fucking point, because all I do all day is just think of dumb fucking ideas. Some work, some don't. But I
Yeah.
just had written in my notes, and everything, my notes look like a fucking school shooter manifesto. Like I take fucking notes down all day fucking long, no matter what I'm doing. One thing I wrote down was City of Brotherly Love. It was just some shit I thought of, and I was like, I'm gonna use that for something one day, and that
Well,
ended up being
hey,
it. So
it's perfect, man.
I was also thinking too, I was like, shit, because I thought about it and I was like, nah, man, he's probably been hearing that shit since he was like 5 years old. But I guess not. I guess I'm the first one to think of it. So
yeah,
I just be putting that shit together.
It's perfect, man. And I know that whole crew up there in Philly, man, is just there's so many layers to that comedy. So much history, I guess, there too. But I know you're planning on a big move up there, right? How's soon as that happening? How's that going?
Well, I got a lot of shit to consider. I've been I know you guys are in NC. I've been here my whole life. So it would be a big move. I'm just kind of looking around because as far as like locally, I don't really have anything like dug in. It's not like I'm working with anybody around here, really.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm kind of on an island. Of course, besides you guys are doing your thing too. But as far as like musical creators and stuff like that,
For sure.
I don't really have anything keeping me here on that side. And I'm just looking around, because my lease is up soon. Who knows? I could end up staying here. But just the way things are looking, like I'm looking at, of course, New York City and that sort of area and everybody up there. And obviously I now have ties to that area and shit. But the thing with going to the Comedy Store with Lewis and going up to New York and doing the bonfire and all that cool shit, all of like dream come true type shit, is like the whole time I'm trying not to, and I'm getting more experience as I go, but I'm trying not to puppy dog these motherfuckers while I'm looking at my fucking heroes. You know what I mean? Like they're up here and I'm just like, holy shit, this is like, I can't even believe it's going on. But then you look at Philly, and when I look at Philly, I see a lot of dudes who, first of all, are funny as fuck, super underrated, but also kind of closer to my level and at my same kind of hunger, because I'm very hungry right now. And I feel like Tim and Mike and the Do-Rag and the Deer Tag boys, they're all on that same kind of wave that I'm on. That's like, let's get this shit right now. Like we're up next, So I just look at Philly as kind of a place that could be a land of opportunity for me, because I think there's a lot of hungry hungry young comics there that are still striving, and we could do some good work together. And everything they're doing with Danny Dubs and Good Boy Comedy, everything they're building is looking really good, man. I don't know if anybody else is paying attention, but it's looking it's looking like they're gearing up. And you know, Lewis is my dog. He's done everything for me. You know what I mean? The things that I couldn't do for myself. But I feel like that would be a good place to be theoretically, where I could be close to New York, but I'm not like trying to grab onto my big bro's coattails all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's just where the idea comes from. I think regardless of whether I go there or not, Philly is up next. So it just intrigues me, you know?
Well, you know, it's cool too, because there sometimes is like a rivalry between scenes or whatever.
It's a rivalry of men.
But it seems like those two, the Gas Digital and the Good Boy Comedy, that scene, all those guys work well together. They like each other, and the humor is pretty similar, you know.
Well, funny knows funny, and like knows like. There's a real palpable wave in Philly right now. Like, everybody can see it and everybody can feel it.
Yeah. Well, and these guys know each other too. Like they have a history with each other.
Yeah.
And so like when you see that in person, you feel that in person. It's like there's something real here, man. There's like, you know, I don't know what it is, but it's moving, and it's
somebody about to be arrested.
Yeah.
Something's about to happen. You can tell, you can feel it. But like, there's something about the Philly boys too that I really fuck with too. Is like, they just seem like regular dudes. I mean, I don't know what I can say on here and whatever, but the fat gay retard shit. Like,
you can say whatever. Yeah, dude.
That whole thing is like just them. It's them, but it's a beautiful thing because it's them identifying like we're no better than our fans. We're just the same. You know what I mean? I'm not saying a lot of podcasts like hold themselves over their fans. Obviously, there's LA ones that we've seen do that, and it hasn't gone well. But they just have a thing of like, Tim and Mike look like you could knock on your next door neighbor's door that you never met and one of them walk up. You know what I mean? They just look like a normal dude down the street, and that's how they handle themselves. And I really fuck with that, because that's all anybody is just another person.
I mean, pretty much all those guys are like that in that crew, man. Like,
it's just hard to find a better group of dudes who are just that wildly talented. I mean, all of them are so fucking crazily talented.
They seem like they're just figuring out right now how funny they are.
Yeah.
Like people are finally telling them, and they're like, oh shit, okay.
It kind of is that way. I think they had some close shots, you know, early in you know, the whole
Delco
industry.
Thing,
With the whole industry fucking, you know, didn't see their genius, and now they're doing it their way. Like, you know, COVID, that's one good thing about the lockdown and everything. Everybody got to start
dying, worth it.
It definitely was
fuck that.
good comedy now. No, but it allowed people to kind of break through these gatekeepers and do shit their own way, and people were definitely seeing that with them during you know, during the lockdown and stuff.
I think they're like yourself. You know, you're an undeniable kind of guy. You're not quitting. You showed up to fight, and you're not there to fight for the, you know, the medium title. You're not there for the U.S. title. You're there for the world championship gold, baby. You know, you came there to win the big matches.
Yeah,
and
man.
Dude,
well, it's like it. Well, I appreciate that, and it's like, you know, especially with music, and at some point it just happened. I've been making music for a long time, but at some point it just happened where everybody's cousin's got a fucking mixtape, you know what I mean? So it's like a wide spectrum of shit, but like everybody, no matter how talented you are, some people want it more than others, and some people like me go through a thing where they were once very motivated, and then you kind of like fall off, and you're like, does anybody even give a fuck? I almost feel kind of embarrassed to post my shit at this point, and you know it's good, but you don't know if it's going to happen, and then a door opens for you, or somebody opens a door for you, and it's like, shit, I have the opportunity now. It's time to fucking go. I'm not letting up. And I feel like that's kind of what Philly's feeling right now too with Shane, because I feel like Shane, of course, has kind of opened the door to like, this is a funny city. Like he kind of opened the door for that Philly culture, and now they're just fucking, they're running with it. And that's kind of what I did. I got this opportunity with the rap shit, and I was like, it's here. So if I'm ever gonna fucking do it, it's now.
Well, you're talking about opening a door. It not only did it open a door for you, but it had your name and your picture and everything right there for you, because it's like they manifested, like they were it was almost like they were talking about you before they knew who you were, because boy, did you take that and you were exactly what they were talking about. Like you did everything perfectly, man. And when that contest was going on, I was like, this is fucking unreal. This is the guy right here. This is like, it almost made me think like they knew who you were, but I know they didn't, but like it was like they already had this guy, and here he is. He just popped out of nowhere. Like but you know, it was great.
It did kind of seem like that. And I won't lie, I'm not gonna sit here and act like it was a super, I mean, there were some people in it, we know that, but I'm not gonna act like it was the most rigorous of competitions.
Yeah,
some of the shit that people enter sounded like mental illness manifesto type shit. Like it was not even fucking music. But then you have
ordinarily
me,
that would win.
yeah. it would at least be funny. But you had me and you had Cam and you had Acumental, who ended up dropping out. I thank God, because he would have been a big test as well. But yeah, I mean, when they started, it felt divine, bro. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not like a super. I know I say on God all the time and shit like that, even when I'm lying. But
I say it all the time now because of you.
Yes,
so it's
does,
and I think a lot of people do. So
you said that to your mom the other day in front of me.
Yeah,
that was
good,
funny
man.
as shit.
Yeah,
it just hammers that shit home. Like, oh damn, he really meant that shit.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, man, I felt like it was kind of divine in a way, like whether it's God or just like feels like some shit is supposed to happen or you're supposed to get your opportunity at some point, because I was just listening live and they started describing this competition and they're literally describing me, not even a character I'm thinking that I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
Like they're like, yeah, I think Crack Amico, he's like a skinny wigger with like tattoos and kind of acts black and like lives in like a weird fucking trashy and I'm like, all right, character's made. This is fucking me. Like,
check.
So, yeah, it was kind of weird like that, and it does kind of make you feel like maybe we are just all in a simulation or some shit. But if we are, I'm having a good fucking time. So keep me plugged into the Matrix.
Yeah, don't pull the plug yet, dude. And not only that, but like, not only are you a talented rapper, but like the humor was on board with everything else. Everything was like it mixed well. It was, some people have one or the other, or the brand of humor's off here and there. Like you were saying, the manifesto shit, like, you know, that could be funny in its own way, but you actually are funny and have a lot of talent. And so
you're great in the room, which is a rarity with somebody who's that musically inclined. Like you're so fast and off the cuff that it's like shit. You know, one of our own has stepped into the mix. It's fucking great, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And I've had the I don't know what the word is, but I guess I've had a lot of experience making songs for certain things. And I've also just been a big student of comedy, and I've gone through a lot of shit in my life that music didn't pull me out of, honestly. Because as much as some music can make you feel a certain way, to me, music is almost just kind of an emotion enhancer. Like whatever you're feeling, it kind of makes you feel that all the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
whereas comedy can change your fucking mood. It can turn your whole fucking day around. And once I figured that shit out, I was addicted from the O&A days and all that shit. So I've really been a student of comedy and podcasts and all that. But the music I've been doing for over a decade now. And even when I was in high school and shit like that, I was the kid that they were asking, yo, make the song for the football team, make the song for the basketball team. So even back then, I was making songs about shit that everybody knew, and I'd be shouting out the players' names and their numbers and shit. So I've been doing this type of shit for a long time. It just worked out where I can do it, and I can throw jokes in there, and I can throw the references in, but I can throw kind of off the wall funny shit in there. I don't know what that combination of all those things is, but it works for me.
It just means you're unique. I mean, if you can't describe what you are, then you are an outlier. You're sitting there in your own field. You've blaze your own path.
You mentioned those references too. Like they do go back a long way. I know. I mean, that's one thing that, as an old O&A fan too, like it goes all the way back there and all the way to newer stuff too. I think people catch that. They're like, oh shit. Like it makes them, there's a lot of people that are drawn to like Gas Digital Philly that are kind of maybe feel like they're on an island as well. And they're like we are North Carolina, it's not really the same here. The mood's not the same here in comedy. But you feel you feel like a connection with that, you know? And so that draws you in even more. And like when you hear it with music, you're talking about enhancement. You put those two things together, man. It's powerful, man. It's great.
Dude, if North Carolina is in fact an island, then he's on the Gilligan's Island side of it. And
Yeah.
we're on like the cannibal tribal side.
Yeah, we're
of
the
it.
dumb
we're,
fucking
we're the idiot natives who
just shitting ourselves.
fuck shit up like half the time.
Yeah.
The Crack's over there just like making great things. He's constructed a fucking submarine out of bamboo.
Yeah.
And we're gonna come over there and like firebomb it and drinking fucking,
We're drinking our own piss.
blood rum. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's just you know, there is a connect. Like it's weird how you were talking about Mike and Tim, FGRs. They built, and I've told them this too, but like
it's a cult.
Yeah,
They started a cult.
but there are people that like
I love cults.
There are people that probably felt bad about themselves for being, or may have shifted their whole life going a different way, trying to be something that they're not or whatever. And they made them feel like it's okay to love your kids and have, you know, a family and then still be who you are. You don't have to be this corporate thing that they're trying to make you be or whatever, you know, whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just a good connection of people. I feel like a lot, you know, if you go to Philly, I can see it just fitting right.
You will see sleepyheads.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been before, so it'll be interesting. I don't know exactly what to expect, but yeah, it'll be cool. And just a little side note, since you mentioned you know, Butterly and Rainey and all them having kids I don't know what the fuck it is, and I'll probably mention this on Dad Meat too, but like I don't know what it is with those motherfuckers, but they just be busting in bitches. Like I swear every Philly motherfucker, they'll be 35 and have 4 kids.
Yeah.
Dude,
and their kids are 20 years old, and you're like, what the fuck?
It's Delco right there before you get into
There's
Philly.
an abundance of Catholic schools around there, so I feel that has something to do with it.
Delco's like real
Catholics
blue collar. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, that is interesting. Like, and I always think too, like, I don't know. I've always just been a pullout guy. Like, I don't need that shit right now. I'm already broke as it is. So like, that's just. But they figured it out, and they don't give a fuck. And Tim seems like an awesome fucking father. He takes shrooms every once in a while. He's got it figured out. So
yeah,
that shit is pretty cool.
Yeah, but they don't care for contraceptives. They don't give a fuck about it.
They treat fucking like Uzis, like, you know, it's just all spray and pray at this point.
Yeah.
It's very much an automatic weapon theory. But dude, when you go to Philly, expect it certain parts to look a lot like downtown Durham. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, you're gonna.
It's like row houses everywhere, man. That's what's kind of fucked up.
It's like downtown Durham with row houses. Yeah,
but the row houses change as you go to a different neighborhood. Like they're nicer, and then they get a little sketchy. And
I'd expect it to be like Durham too, just in the way that like. I'm sure it's probably a place where you're walking in like a nice fucking area, and there's nice like fucking there's a Chipotle or some shit, and there's like fucking people biking around and shit, and then all of a sudden you walk too far and you're like, oh shit, where the fuck am I? I was just on Duke campus, now I'm in fucking Iraq.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
We were walking to meet an Uber after the Gillian Keefe season 2 premiere, and we walked through like this historic neighborhood, like this like nice brick sidewalks and shit was plaques all over the place, and then we crossed the street and not so much that on the other side. A lot of cardboard, a lot of things happening in different places.
Yeah, well, I think I'm ready for it.
You're gonna love it, dude. That town's gonna love you.
I think here's what I think should happen. I think Tommy and Chris need to move back to Philly. Tommy Pope.
Oh,
Chris,
Jesus Christ, yeah.
You live with them. You teach Tommy the like how to rap, you know, and then Tommy.
Italians can't rap.
No, I know he can't. I want to see it happen. I want to see him try it. Though.
Dude, this is like Dungeons and Dragons at this point. It's just a thing they can't do. When you roll the dice in the sheet, they just can't do it.
Huh? Has there ever been like a big Italian rapper? I'm trying to think.
Nah,
they can't do it.
Not one I can think of.
It's incapable.
I don't.
Too busy fixing their fucking hair.
Yeah, dude. Hair on point. You know, mom's food on point.
Yeah, that's it. They have no need
whack
to
somebody, throw them in a dumpster in fucking Hoboken. On point. That's it. What did you guys? Partially Italian guys. So.
Yeah. What did you guys think about the new Gillian Keefe season? I thought it was a fucking masterpiece, dude.
Oh, dude,
shit that they did.
There's no weak point.
So we were. It was kind of skewed because we were at that show, the live show, and then there were some things that were cut out, but like everybody was there that night, and it was so much fun that I felt like, man, if I watch this, it's not gonna live back up to what I had there. But no, it's dude.
Yeah, we came back home and watched it with our boys.
Yeah,
Like one of our friends has a theater, and we just did it up, and fuck, everybody was dying. We were dying all over again.
yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, it's a masterpiece. You're right. It's that Trump sketch. When I was there, I was like, that Trump sketch is going to cause like the
world, the internet to break.
Yeah, because well, the Golden sketch, like when that was going on, they were like, listen, this thing's broken up. It's not really complete, and then this is kind of stupid. But I actually heard more about that than anything, man. When Foley comes out of the limo,
Daddy's home,
dude. I mean, that's the fucking best thing ever.
They did one of the most brilliant things that I've ever seen, which is they realize that, of course, it's like McKeever and a bunch of random dudes, but a lot of those dudes you see, of course, like Matt and Shane, especially Shane from the podcast. And then if you're a big fan, you know about Tommy, and you know about Gerby, and you know about all those fucking guys. So what I think they did that was so brilliant that I think you'll see a lot more of, the more that people involved with podcasts make these type of shorts and skits and stuff, is they did that one skit where they're acting like these like weird rich dudes.
Yeah, that's the golden one. Yeah.
They leave in the fucking bloopers, and it's like a bonus for the fans because you know the actors, these dudes. It's not Johnny Depp, who you've never seen fucking talk as his real self. You know what I mean? You know these dudes. So when you leave in that raw content of them laughing at each other, it's almost like another part of the art. Like it was amazing. I thought it was a brilliant fucking idea.
And they got the dude from Ozark to be in that sketch.
That shit was fucking, that was great too. Fucking Wyatt from Ozark.
Yeah. He was a huge fan. Yeah.
Johnson, he always liked the bloopers on movies. So he's like, they wanted to do it maybe at the end, but he's like, why? Because they couldn't really figure out what to do with that sketch in the first place. So they're like, we're just going to leave it as it is. And you're right, man. It kind of draws people into like being like, again, we're not above you. You're invited in to this thing. You're part of it too. And that sketch, man, is so goddamn funny. Like,
and you get to see Shane like display his acting chops, and you get to see like, oh, this is why they wanted to hire this dude on SNL. He's a legit fucking comedy actor. But then you see him break character too, and you're like, oh, that's the Shane I know. Like laughing at his ridiculous fucking glasses he's wearing, So it's great.
And making the face like, I'm gonna kill myself, like the snarky ass face, dude. Yeah, that killed me. Those guys, I don't know what they're gonna do next with that, but it feels like everybody wants to be a part of it now. Like, and but they still have this. There's like a chemistry thing there that John knows. John McKeever's a genius, man. He knows ahead of time what he wants, but he also allows people to do what they do best. It's a really
I have such an admiration for that guy, because just me, and of course I haven't been a fucking big, I basically have just started in the past few years because I took a little hiatus from music just because I was kind of down on my shit, not really motivated. So I was kind of fucking around with maybe having a podcast one day, and I was like, well, what do I need to do? I already know how to kind of engineer some audio. Let me play around with that a little more. And I started filming some stuff and playing around with like a movie editor and just kind of getting that shit together. And now I've been doing it for a while, and still when I make a video like Fuck Santa or whatever, and I just take my little 1080p cam and me and my boy like film, and we do these different stuffs and I feel like I'm like directing and shit. I'm like exhausted after like a little shitty 2-minute video like that. So I can't even, the amount of work and just mental planning and work that it must take to make that shit. And then you've got everybody there depending on you on set, the pressure, like that shit's crazy, but they make it work.
He thrives on it. It's fucking crazy. The guy is so fucking into it, and he can,
but he's also super humble about it. He's like, he will not take the credit for it.
If you get the opportunity, and I'm sure you will, you got to meet him and hang out with him. He's one of the best dudes you'll ever meet. He really is.
He's awesome.
An absolute sweetheart of a human being.
I'd love to meet him. And another thing that I like about him too is when they're showing some bloopers. I can't remember if it was in the sketches or not, but he's laughing hard. Like he's the one breaking every fucking time. Like he's laughing harder at the shit than anybody else. And they're almost getting to the point where they're like, come on, bro. Like we got to get this shit done.
Get him to tell you the story of the Golden family, actually what it was supposed to be versus what came out.
Yeah.
It's so fucking entertaining. You'll love it, dude. You'll fucking die.
Did you? So when you went out, sorry, I was thinking about this. We're talking about all the people we love and everything, but when you went out to LA, right? Did you run into any shit out there? Any comics that didn't like anything, the things you were saying about them, or has that happened yet? No,
nah, that didn't happen. I was kind of asking people like, yo, is Shab like on the road this weekend? Is he around? Or like, what's going on with that? But nah, man, there was I never really had any of that. But I did get the same kind of feel as when I talked to Callan when he was in New York when they did the lie detector with him.
Yeah.
And I talked to him and I got the same feeling when I talked to Sam Tripoli, because he was the only one in the green room that kind of is not like in the Skanks world, but he's cool. He's very cool dude to talk to. But he and Callan did the same thing to me, where it was kind of like they were like, yo, man, like if anybody knows, like I know like LA is fucking lame and blah 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 blah. And I almost want to tell him like, look, bro, like it is a joke. Like like don't
You're comedians, right, guys?
Like don't think that my shit is like 100% like a diss at you. Like in the same video where I'm saying LA is gay, I'm rubbing my fucking nipple. So I'm like, I'm just joking. You don't have to be like, you don't have to be like, bro, like I get it. I don't know. Maybe that was just the way I was looking at it, but I felt like they were almost like, you're right. And I was like, dude, yeah, but like I am kind of fucking around. You know what I mean?
Now we're going to war now, man. It's over.
We're with you though, man. You got two fucking savages here from the home team. They're just ready for you, man.
Yeah,
hell yeah, bro.
That's that's funny as hell. That
is the track though. Like when I play You for People for the first time, that's the one I lead off with because it's so fucking catchy. It will be in their head for days, easily. And then I try to go through the catalog, but man, that's the one I always lead off with. I'm like, you got to hear this motherfucker. He's genius.
So when you get to Skankfest, right? It's like I know you got you talk about Kim Congdon, you're talking about Sarah Weinshank, you're talking about Karen Fee, and all and you see them, right? Were you like apprehensive at first?
You're drumming up trouble.
No, I'm not, man. Because
I
love.
We can talk about whatever y'all want to talk about, man.
No, I love it, and I because they're comics. I know. They're. But were you like, hey, like how did that go down?
No, it was great, man. When I met, I mean, Kim fucking loves me, which I didn't like think about really, but then I guess you kind of think about it and like. Somebody makes a song about like bad bitches and mid bitches and ugly bitches, and you're like the fucking star, like you're the baddest bitch. I guess you would appreciate that. So she
for sure
did. And when I met her, I just gave her a hug. I was like, "What's up? How are you doing?" I saw Sarah too. She was cool as fuck. And that Thursday night that I got to the pre-party, I kind of palled around with them and Josh Potter, who's a huge fan.
Josh.
Who I fucking
Josh,
that dude rules. He's super fucking nice, super down to earth. But I kind of palled around with them. When I first met Karen, I didn't say much to her because I was about to go on and perform, and she like came over to meet me, and she was like, "Hey, what's up? How are you doing?" And I was like nervous. And she was like, "Oh, okay." So I didn't really talk to her much, but I just saw her in LA. We hung out, we smoked a joint. But yeah, it was
nice.
It was all cool, man. And I'm not being creepy with them or anything, being like, yeah, so you know how I called you a bad bitch?
Yeah,
what we about to do about that?
Like, about it?
I'm just trying to be as professional as everybody else, especially when I come into a situation where I'm in the green room with all these people that have been doing comedy for 10 to 20 years. I don't try and come in and act like I'm like a star or anything. I'm like kind of the kid sitting back quiet. If you talk to me, I'll talk to you. Other than that, I'm not bothering you.
No, they love it when you go up to them and do their bits to them and say, this is, and tell them how they could have done it better. That's the best thing.
This explains why we are where we are.
Yeah. I just love to go up to whoever they just get off stage and I'm like, God, you know what? that part was good. Let me show you how you can do it better. And
I'll be starting my
they-
own podcast soon.
That's
No, it's-
that's almost the number one thing. And I know when I understand and I can tell when people are trying to help, which is fine.
yeah.
But I would almost rather a motherfucker tweet at me and be like, yo, your shit not that good, bro. I don't know why everybody's gassing you up. Like, this shit is not that good. Like, I'd be able to shrug that off easier than when somebody's like, what you need to do is good. And I'm like, oh, really? That's what I need to do? How the fuck do you know?
Yeah.
Like,
You're
that,
here.
that shit
and they're
pisses
not-
me
yeah.
off. But people are just trying to help, man. I understand.
Yeah, you don't get that in the South much, do you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Well-
listen here, boy. What you need to do, when you're talking about them titties, what you need to do is talk about how they jiggle.
I like a jiggling titty.
Jiggling titties is just better than just saying titties. Just say jiggle titties.
See,
That's-
that's actually good advice, though.
Well,
Yeah, it
you
is
know,
true.
When
Yeah.
you talk about titties, you should talk about the jiggle.
That is fair.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what's the point of bringing up a titty without jiggle? You know what I mean?
You guys
Exactly.
got me
And then you're just teasing people for,
caught by my own tongue.
yeah. So yeah, like a lot of people, I don't know, as far as like North Carolina goes, I played in bands and stuff, and the music scene in North Carolina is really kind of strange how there isn't one in a lot of ways. Like you can't get
There
a
was.
well, yeah, but live music is usually cover bands. That's what people want in these bars or whatever. And if you go and play your original stuff, you're gonna play with like, you know, 6 other people, you know, 6 other acts or whatever. And you don't get paid. Like, it's hard to get paid in North Carolina, you know. So anybody, there's a lot of, I think there's some talent here, but like anybody that breaks out of here, I don't, you know, I
Salute.
yeah, I salute. I think it's, you know, it's definitely the way to go. It's just different here, man.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of weird, and you know, there's a slight comedy scene and there's a slight music scene.
Yeah.
But the music scene here seems to be a little bit archaic. It almost seems like a lot of people try to go through the radio the radio type of stuff more so than the internet. And then the kids on the internet, like the baby pretty much made it straight from the internet, because I was listening to his shit on YouTube when it only had, and I say only, it's more than I have, but only had like a couple 100,000 views on a video. And that's pretty much, he was that guy going on fucking Twitter in the replies of somebody's song and being like, yo, check my shit out. And he ended up getting spread around. But for me, I feel like I do have songs that you could just play for people that aren't really joke songs where you're like, oh shit, this is good. But like, I would like to get maybe one day in an environment where it is sort of a comedy environment, so that way when I come in, I kind of make sense, whether or not people know me already or not. But if I'm performing say at like Helium in between comics, they'll kind of understand, okay, this guy must be doing something a little funny.
Yeah, you're holding on to a thread, so to speak. Like you're keeping the flow going.
Yeah, they know
the aesthetic. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is an interesting thing because like I go out to the fucking, when I went to Skankfest, it was like I couldn't leave my fucking room because I knew people in the hotel were gonna recognize me. And well, I did leave the room. I wasn't like scared, but like I knew if I left, people were going to be taking pictures, all that kind of shit. So I was thinking about what I was wearing every time I left the room. Here, I'll fucking go to fucking Harris Teeter in my pajamas. Nobody's going to fucking know who I am. So like nobody around here knows about the shit. So it's kind of weird.
Isn't that
I go to
crazy,
certain
man?
places and people know me, and I can be in one place, nobody fucking, just another white dude.
That's the craziest shit. And I wholeheartedly believe you, but like, it just doesn't, I don't understand how people like in your town or any town around here, any small towns, don't like, at least somebody hasn't said something, you know what I mean? But it's just the way it is, man. You can,
we've had a little taste of that.
Nobody knows shit, you know, but that's kind of cool in a way too. Like, you can kind of go about your business. But still,
Harris Teeter in the pajamas really is the only move though. Like that's how that's how you go to Harris Teeter.
Hell yeah.
It's like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm wearing these fucking plaid motherfuckers out. I got a jacket on. Don't look at me, Susan. Dead-eyed bitch.
Susan is a bitch.
There is
man.
gonna be a day though. It's not the day yet, but I'm hoping there is gonna be a day one day where I feel like I've gotten big enough and I've gotten enough steam behind me where I'll start following people I knew from high school on Instagram.
Yeah.
And let them see what the fuck I got
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah,
But I'm not there yet. So.
I think you are, but that's just my personal opinion.
See, I think
there's a lot of people hating back in the day, man. Being a white rapper, it's part of the fucking job, man.
yeah, you're automatically gonna
Behind
have
the
that.
eight ball.
Yeah, for sure. Have you gone to like comedy clubs around here like in the last few months or whatever? I don't know if people would recognize or caught on from there.
The last show that I went to was Shane. This is pretty funny. Shane came to North Carolina. Did you guys go to Shane?
Yeah,
When he was at Good Nights?
Yeah.
I went to the Saturday Late Show.
That's where we were. Yeah,
Dude, we missed you.
yeah, we were hanging
fuck,
outside at
man.
the end. You weren't outside at the end, were you?
I was outside at the end because I was talking to Nate Marshall.
Yeah, Nate Marshall. Yeah,
we had to have seen you. We were
we were out there hanging with Shane against the wall there outside.
Maybe this is a different night, or maybe I'm confusing nights because the night I went up there, Shane never came out.
Oh no, he definitely came out that night, but Nate was out there first with the other guy who opened.
Maybe I'm thinking Friday or some shit. Maybe I was there on Friday or something like that. But
we were
either way,
on Saturday. Yeah,
I'm glad he didn't come out because this was I think maybe after I had kind of just won the competition, so it wasn't as kind of big yet. I don't even know if I had made LA as gay yet. But I was sitting there talking to Nate and I was like, yo, man, so yeah, I don't know if you've heard of like the Crack Amico shit, but that's me. And he was like, oh shit, that's you. And I was like, yeah, do you think Shane's coming out at any point? Because I kind of want to like spit a verse for him. And I was kind of confused about what I wanted to do with content at that point. So I was like, yo, I had this vision in my head. I was like, I'm gonna go to the show, see Shane, he's gonna come out, I'll spit some bars for him, get him on video. But now looking at it, that shit would not have worked. I would have been like, yo, can I spit some bars for you, Shane? And you would have been like, what?
Okay,
like, I guess. And then it'd be like, can I record it? And be like, no. Like, who the fuck are you? What's going on? But no, I showed up. It was a little bit of a bummer. I showed up in a fucking black t-shirt with my C chain and fucking was just wet like shit. Better fucking dress nice because motherfuckers are gonna have pictures everywhere of me. Fucking nobody recognized me. I told 2 people who I was, and then I don't think they probably even remembered. So
yeah, I guarantee you that's not the same now.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Well, maybe even back then, like,
you.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking so, but I guess maybe at any comedy club I go to, especially for certain people, some people might recognize me, but I'll tell you what, fucking Skankfest was the complete opposite, bro. Like, everybody knew who the fuck I was there. It was crazy.
The videos that I've seen, you were a star, man. Like, it seemed like they had the red carpet out just for you, and it was the way that like Mike and Tim were the year before, that people were like excited to see them. It seemed like you were like the
except you didn't have an Irishman put his dick through a poster, so that was good for you.
I mean, maybe Colin will do it for anybody, I think.
Well, yeah, he's a nice guy.
But yeah,
Colin rules.
Yeah, he but yeah, I mean, it seemed awesome, and it seemed like the crowd was pumped the entire time for you. So, and I know it's still early for this year, but I'm sure you're gonna be back again this year. I don't know if you can say or not, but
would it be kind of funny if we traveled all the way to Skankfest to meet a dude from North Carolina?
Yeah,
how fucking weird would that be?
That's about right.
Yeah, I'm expecting to be back at Skankfest. Nobody said anything to me yet, but
yeah,
I would hope they would have me back, and if they don't, I'm certainly not going because that's gonna be some sad ass shit walking around and being like, "Yo, Crack Amico, what's up, man? Are you performing?" I'm like, "Nah, they didn't want my thing this year, so I'm hanging out, having fun. Like, hell
just
no,
hanging out, man.
I'm not fucking going.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I'm not fucking going unless they fucking want me there. That's how it's got to be now. I have too much pride.
Definitely understand.
Well, you did some dates with Lewis and Aaron, right? And you were that's where you were on the West Coast, right? With them doing the what's their tour? What's the tour called?
Oh, fine.
Sorry for
Offend everyone.
offend
Yeah.
everyone. Sorry.
That was in I drove to Jacksonville for that one.
Okay. Aaron's Aaron's got an interesting crowd that kind of follows him too, but it seems to kind of blend in there as well.
It all works together.
Yeah, I like Aaron. He's a funny dude. So I was watching this today too. So you were talking about being an O&A fan. The clip with Anthony Cumia, like watching you talk about him.
Yeah.
Great, man. What did you think about that? Were you I think he got it, I guess. I hope he got the comedic side of it.
Well,
Oh,
first
yeah,
of
for
all,
sure.
I thought it was hilarious. Because when you're making these things, and the dude who I was in the video with who played Santa is has been my best friend for years. He's also a huge O&A fan. So when you're making this shit, you don't know where it's gonna travel, and it's just funny where the shit ends up. And like I can't say, like, I've been told things in confidence that I can't say like exact people, but some of the people that I've heard have been confirmed have heard my music is crazy to me. Like people
Wow.
that I never even thought would knew I existed have seen my face and heard my music. But fuck, where was I going with this? What was the question?
But Anthony Cumia, which is
Oh yeah, so when you're making it, you don't know where it's gonna travel and shit. So the fact that it got to his show in the first place was fucking hilarious to me. As soon as I saw that he was reacting my shit, I was fucking laughing my ass off. The thing I didn't like was they started playing it from halfway in the video,
yeah.
which made it look like the whole video was about Anthony being a pedophile, when really it was just a small joke that I thought of last minute. The original joke was gonna be, I was gonna take a fucking DVD case and blank it out and put like something in there that I could write on, and put like Shirley Temple deleted scenes, or fucking Cuties deleted scenes, or just some shit that a pedophile, because I knew in my mind Santa was going to be a pedophile in this video. That was my vision.
Certainly, yeah.
But then my boy had the Cumia book, so we started cooking up ideas with that, and it was like, yeah, maybe that would be cool. And then maybe he didn't end up seeing it or some shit. I think if he watched the full video, he kind of would have got the whole thing a little bit more. But I think he kind of halfway watched just a little bit and just saw, oh, this guy's calling me a pedo, and probably immediately went into defense mode, which is understandable, but I wish he kind of got the whole thing, but that's not always how it works. So I thought it was hilarious.
But I also think that I don't know the guy at all, but he also seems like the kind of guy that maybe like, oh, whatever. Like he's not going to lose sleep over it. At the same time, he may even go back and like watch the whole thing and be like, okay, I get it now. I mean,
also Italians rap. How many times I have to put this together?
That's true.
Okay, guys.
I know he's a big fan of rap too, inadvertently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he also probably figures, even if not in that exact moment, he probably figures the guy has the fucking book.
Right.
People aren't gonna buy the book that are like anti fucking, at least completely anti Anthony. You know what I mean? So he has to know at least at some point these guys were fans.
Oh, I'm more than sure he got the, it was a bit, and it was kind of an homage.
I mean, the horrible shit that O&A Pest have said to him over the years, like we
literally can't say most of it.
Yeah,
like literally can't say it.
He's got to have a sense of humor about himself.
Oh, for sure.
Dude. So I was watching your show. You have a very good show, by the way. Your podcast or live streaming, whatever. It's very good.
By the way, before we got on to record this, we found at least one person live streaming about
you, which is pretty fucking crazy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Who is that? I'll check that out later.
Did you write the name down?
I think I got it saved. I'll figure it out.
I'll send you the name.
Mike is life or something like that.
Oh, No Life Mike.
No Life Mike. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. That shit's funny. Fucking this dude Caparo, I don't know if he's gonna end up seeing this, but I feel like he gets geeked every time I say his name. But this dude Caparo commented on all of my videos and was like, shout out No Life Mike, shout out No Life Mike. And I got on stream yesterday and I was like, who the fuck is No Life Mike? And I was just getting pissed, because I was like, what the fuck is all this shit? I just want to know that he's not the fucking president of NAMBLA or some shit. Like, because I'll be liking the comments like, yeah, No Life Mike, and then I find out fucking he's got like a fucking 20 Russian bitches in a van somewhere, and this is who I've been allowing to be on my comments. But yeah, No Life Mike is this guy who I guess kind of now is a bit on my stream. I think every time I stream, I'm just gonna say shout out No Life Mike. I don't even know what the fuck he does exactly, but
And his Uncle Epstein.
Well, everybody knows the president of NAMBLA is Anthony Cumia, obviously. So it's
yeah.
But on your show, you had something. You had the top 10 Wiggers of all time, which I thought great list, really good list. Actually, probably the number one actually was the person I was thinking too. Didn't know it at the time, but I just want to go through a couple of them. I don't want to ruin the whole thing.
Anderson Cooper.
I love this, man. Hell yeah.
Chester Hanks.
Yeah.
This is a guy who initially, I'll say for myself, hated him. And then now I'm like, this guy might be the best Hanks of all of them. He might be the real talent in that family.
He might be Moneybank's Hanks.
When he did the interview about the speaking patois, I was like, this might be the best. You know, maybe he is a future politician. Maybe he will be the president one day.
Did you see the apology for the patois?
I did.
Yeah.
The non-apology?
The psych. Yeah.
Psych.
Yep.
Great addition to the list. I think you know, I don't know how you guys feel. I mean, obviously
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me say a little bit about Chester Hanks.
Please.
Yeah, please.
So first of all, with Chet Hanks, the first thing I ever saw of him, I'm a huge Larry David fan. I love Curb Your Enthusiasm and I love Seinfeld, but Chet Hanks was in an episode of Curb where he played a dude with PTSD, and I thought he did a fucking good ass job. And I was like, shit, this kid's pretty funny. I don't know why he hasn't been in more shit. But then we saw like the patois shit and like White Boy Summer and all that shit, and I was like, okay, I see what this dude is doing. He's doing like some kind of pretend you're like mentally ill and get a lot of hate on you for like some clout. And at that point I was kind of like, this shit's getting kind of weak. Like I can't tell if I fuck with this or not. But then he doubled down on it, which made me respect him. I didn't know if I liked him, but I knew I respected him because he doubled down on it.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck all this Hollywood shit. Like, so, but then I saw him in that little interview he was doing with that bitch that tries to interview everyone and cancel them, is what it looks like. It's the thing with like the pink background with the black girl that's like asks questions. It seems like to cancel these people.
Yeah, for sure.
They'll say, and he doubled down on that too. And I was like, I'm understanding now that this is really a dude who has certain beliefs and doesn't give a fuck what anybody thinks. And I really respect that. And the last thing I saw from him, which I actually, funny we're talking about it, I watched last night because it's one of my favorite recent episodes. Do you guys know of a show called Atlanta?
Yeah.
I love that show. Yeah, it's fantastic. I feel like it gives a lot of black perspective, but not in a preachy way. And I really appreciate that. There's not a lot of shows like that. It shows like both sides of a lot of stuff. But anyway, he's in one of those episodes called Trini to the Bone, and he plays the whole episode is about white kids that grow up with like Trinidadian and Jamaican nannies, and end up becoming more like them than their own family. And he played a part in that, where he was a kid grown up that used to have like a Trinidadian nanny, and he's doing the patois accent. And I was just like, not only is this dude have his heels dug in, doubling down on who the fuck he is, he can make a joke out of himself. So like, I was like, he's the shit. Obviously, he's a loose fucking cannon. He had the thing where he was at like doing like some kind of self-help or stand-up shit, which is what I was on the bonfire for looking at. So obviously the dude's a little fucked mentally, but I think he's righteous in the shit that he does, because he doesn't seem like he's doing it for clout, or I don't know. There's something about him I like. That's what I'll say about Chet.
Anybody that's sort of a real life Kenny Powers, I'm like, yeah, I like that guy. You know, doubling down on when you know that you're probably wrong, but you double down on it. I'm like, yeah, we need.
I don't want to stop yelling because that means I lost the fight.
Yeah, pretty much. And
speaking of, just before you go to the next one, just you mentioned Kenny Powers. That's one of my favorite shows too, Eastbound and Down, and I'm sure you guys love it too. You see all the fucking they're filming in like North and South Carolina and shit. There's like Cheerwine trucks driving around. I love that shit.
Rough House hat, their production company.
Yeah. And Fucking Righteous Gemstones fucking rules too.
God,
But
damn, dude.
he's on one of those lists that if I ever made it as big as I possibly could, I would love to work with that dude.
Oh,
He's
fuck
fucking
yeah.
everything he's in is fucking amazing. So he's on like my dream list of if I was making music video productions one day, like get him a cameo. That's like all-time dreams.
He's probably like number one on our list.
Oh, for sure.
I remember we were interviewing Lloyd Kaufman from Troma, and he was like, "So have you guys interviewed him yet?" And I'm like, "No, of course not." How the hell is that gonna happen? But
like, do you have his number?
Yeah,
like shit.
Hit me up, Uncle Lloyd.
Yeah. The next one, and again, I'm skipping through some of these. Paul Wall, you made some excellent points there where we didn't even realize that he was a white guy for a long time. True, because he wherever he was Paul Wall, and he just blended into wherever he was. And excellent point there for sure. You're not familiar with Paul Wall, huh?
I don't believe I am.
Yeah.
Sitting sideways, boys and days. You know?
No.
No.
All right.
No. I am tragically me. I am unhip.
Yeah.
I was gonna make I made a comparison about you, like when you first hit on the scene, like, you know, like basically you were what they described, you were exactly what they want. I'm like, yeah, like Remington Steele. And he looks at me. He probably have no idea who the fuck. He's like, "Did you just make a Remington Steele
It's the oldest fucking
and fucking 1984 fucking TV show?"
I don't know. I know Lexington Steele.
That's the joke he made back to me. Yeah, he's like, "You mean Lexington Steele?" Like,
yeah,
a way better joke.
Yeah, it is. Well, you'll know the next one that I was going to bring up.
I've been double stung by Lexington Steele.
Yeah, well, you're not the only one.
Yeah, there you go. Pretty sure it's one of his videos.
A lot of ladies walking around, like they've been riding horses all day.
Yeah.
The next one is Stone Cold Steve Austin, which I think was brilliant, because now I'm thinking about it and I'm like, he's got the chain on
100%.
He's got the attitude. If you really look at it, it's there, man.
And he listens to rap music, quite a bit.
So, I consider Stone Cold Steve Austin probably my number one role model in life. I mean, for better or for worse, it's a subconscious thing. I grew up as a kid being 7 or 8 when the Attitude Era landed, and it just fucking took hold of me, bro. And Stone Cold was the fucking pilot of that fucking plane, man. Like, it was just fucking, and you could even argue DX were doing some a little bit wiggerish shit. It's
for sure.
It's the challenging, it's the original Public Enemy shit of like challenging fucking convention, which was not, you didn't see that a lot from what you thought to be white dudes, except if they were like fucking like Motley Crue, like, yeah, man, we're sticking it to the fucking man. And that shit's lame to me. I mean, I love the music, but rock stars were never badass. Like, they just took a lot of drugs.
Right.
X-Pac was 100% a wigger. Like, there's no two ways about it.
Even if you didn't try to be. What's hilarious too, what I love about like the whole, I will talk about wigger stuff all fucking day long because it's such an interesting study to me. And the funny thing about a lot of it is a lot of people don't even decide that they're wiggers. Other people decide that for them.
That's true.
That's one of my favorite things that happens, because you just understand in the eyes of a lot of white people what that is. And for example, like, the dudes on Skanks and a lot of the fans in the racist live chat were calling Adam 22 a wigger the whole entire show. And I was like, I've never thought of Adam 22 as a wigger. He just acts like a white dude, but he's around so many black dudes. He's around rap and he has tattoos. So wigger stamp.
It's just association. Yeah.
If you're wigger by committee, that's pretty much as thorough as it gets.
But,
and at that point, you don't even have to try anymore. You're just like, you don't have to try to actively be a wigger. You just are one. And that must be a nice feeling.
Well, you know, the funny thing is that when you're talking about the Attitude Era, it seemed like the NWO themselves all took on that a little bit too, because Scott Steiner for sure did.
They weren't mad wiggerish, they were dad wiggerish.
And but Hall and Nash came in with that attitude. They came in sort of like, I think they even quoted like, you know, rap songs at the time. And then Hogan tried to do it too, which was like fucking way awkward, man. But I know like at least the core members of the NWO were doing it early on too. So something about wrestling and in the Attitude Era, you could find
the Monday Night Wars. Yeah, it was all over.
Yeah.
Dude, the WCW shit was just a little bit before my time. The only thing I really had connecting me to WCW was the movie Ready to Rumble.
Ready to Rumble?
No, God
Uh,
damn it. Yeah.
Which I rewatched that shit lately and I was like, God damn, this is fucking terrible, but I love it. Fucking,
Yes.
but so I kind of missed the WCW way, but I was big on the WWF, and it just you get reminded the shit that they got away with, and I feel crazy that like I was allowed to watch, or I'm pretty sure I was allowed to watch this shit when I was like 8 years old. And you see, I don't know if you guys heard the Matt and Shane on JRE
Yes.
from
Yeah.
yesterday,
finished
but
it,
they
yeah.
show where fucking Bubba Ray Dudley slams the 80-year-old bitch
Yeah.
through the table.
Yeah.
Oh, they're talking about the,
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
crowd's like, let's fucking go.
Yeah,
yeah.
they're talking about the Saudi Arabians really loving wrestling because of the women's treatment. They saw this like, yes, we
Yeah.
will buy this product.
But dude, they were also on the other end. Just about every episode, you almost saw, well, at least once an episode, almost saw tits.
Oh, for sure, dude.
You saw every woman that was mildly
A
attractive.
thong,
You
for
saw the
sure.
thong
Yeah.
while they're getting into the ring. I'm like, miss
It
those
fucking-
days, man.
It fucking ruled. And I truly think that the years 1995 through I would say maybe even 97 through 2002 were just such beautiful, disgusting fucking years in this
Yeah.
country's history. And I'm so tied to it. And I feel like that's maybe why I'm a little tied to Legion of Skanks so much, because they were kind of adults during that time and kind of got
Yeah.
to enjoy it. And I was kind of almost like a baby product of the shit. Like I grew up watching Stone Cold Steve Austin stun motherfuckers while drinking Mountain Dew and hearing Korn play on the fucking commercials in between. So that's what that's how you get me.
So you were
Korn
like,
and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
you were somehow a surrogate child of Mike Rainey then, with the corn and,
Well,
and Mountain Dew and the
keep in mind he's in North Carolina, so he's in wrestling country. Like the
yeah.
rich history is ingrained into your DNA.
Yeah,
So
but
you've got it all. You've got Hard Times with Dusty
yeah.
Rhodes. You got all of it, man. You got the whole.
have
deal.
you ever met Ric Flair? Everybody in the state has a Ric Flair story except for me. I've never met the man, but
I've never met him either. The only time the closest I've been to him is going to a Hurricanes game, and every time they score, he's like, "That's another Carolina Hurricane goal!" Woo! Yeah, but no, I've never met the guy. I've watched extensive documentary footage on him. But and by the way, I'm a huge, just like podcasts, I'm a huge documentary fan, and my favorite category of them is wrestling.
They're so
so
good.
that Dark Side of Wrestling thing that Vice put out. I don't know if you watched that, but did it on
I've
different-
watched them all
Yeah,
at least
yeah.
twice.
the
plane ride from
yeah.
hell.
I've heard multiple stories from people that were on that flight, but I never heard them all put together. Dude, I mean, that had to be an awesome flight. That had to be the best flight of all time.
Yeah,
Undertaker's
that's-
passed out and
Mhm.
fucking people are fighting over it. Yeah, dude.
I didn't know
There's-
exactly how to feel about all that shit and the stewardess and like her
Yeah.
claims and stuff like that. I'm not one of these guys who sees everything as like one or the other either. Like there's a lot of gray area and shit.
Yeah.
And at the end of that, I was just thinking like, I don't think Ric Flair should be brought up on any fucking charges or be canceled or anything like that. The only thing that maybe should happen is maybe the WWE should cut this bitch a settlement, because it is kind of fucked up for you to be a bitch on a plane that has a husband and dudes are just grabbing your fucking ass. Like that's not, it's not
Yeah.
completely cool. I understand how it could happen on both sides, but throw that bitch some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Hush-
but
Hush
Ric
money-
Flair don't need to go to fucking jail.
Hush money is a time-honored tradition in
If they're gonna do
Western culture, and let's bring that back. You know, Vince knows how to do it. I mean, he doesn't know how to hide it, but he knows how to do it.
That motherfucker's hilarious. He stepped down for 2 fucking seconds and was like, all right,
Yeah.
I think we're good now. Coast is clear.
Everybody forgot.
Nobody remembers that shit.
Everybody forgot. Let's just move on.
That was weeks ago.
Dude, what do you end up spending? $20 million?
I think it was slightly over.
That's a lot of money, but you know.
This is a guy who blew himself up on a TV segment in a limo one time, and then just was like back on like, nobody remembers that. That's fine.
He also went on
Well,
TV.
you know why they did that, right? You know why he had to
Can't
come
remember the
back and be
story.
like, because fucking Benoit fucking
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Benoit fucking smashed his family.
Yeah.
So the dead Vince in the limo had to come out and be like, I'm not really dead.
Yeah.
my
Benoit
God.
had the hardest workout ever on a Bowflex. and then
Dude,
was-
the Chinese motherfuckers that put that shit together had no idea what it was going to
Nah.
get used for.
I wonder if there's a warning on that shit. It's like a picture of Benoit, like
I hope it's in broken English too.
Yeah.
It'd be
No
funny if
kill
they ended
family.
up. My bad. It'd be funny if they ended up like the military saw what he did with it and took that technology and turned it into some type of torture device. Like, this is actually fucking perfect for this.
Nothing but Nordic tracks and fucking Gitmo right now.
Trying to get state secrets out of people.
Camp X-ray.
Fucking doing curls on it. I do want to see the Benoit picture with the
Jesus Christ
circle and slash through it though.
Just a red-faced dude fucking
Yeah.
squeezing down.
Yeah.
And then it just all, it's crazy how much we didn't know, like, medically. And I'm not gonna get into like a big conversation with this, like, but like the NFL and like the CTE shit, like,
Yeah.
you look at the guy that snapped and killed his fucking family, and you're like, well, why out of all the wrestlers was he the one to do it? It's like, oh, you mean the guy who landed on his head every
Every
fucking match of his
night.
career?
Yeah.
You know,
and it just,
and then the what was his name? Dynamite Kid did the same
Yeah.
thing. He would which he was copying, and he ended up having all kinds of fucking problems
Both
too.
of them did the same suplex technique too, where they landed on their head when they suplex people.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, it was just, fuck my head.
But then again, I mean, you know women.
Well, you got me there.
You never
You
know.
got me there.
You never know what happens.
Shit.
We could blame the WWE all along, but I mean,
Well, Will Smith.
she even went by woman at one point.
That's true. That's true.
So
It's dark. That's dark as fuck, dude.
nah, it's fine.
That's fucked.
It's fine, dude. We'll never know. We'll never know. So, well, dude, we've taken enough of your time. I'm sorry.
This was an absolute
this-
pleasure, dude. Just an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
do you guys have to go anywhere? Do you have
No,
more on that
no.
list of wiggers?
Yeah,
I at
oh,
least
yeah,
wanna-
yeah,
Yeah, dude.
I want
we
to
can-
finish at least your list of wiggers, because this shit has
Oh.
flown by, man. I just looked up. I was like, holy shit, it's been
Yeah.
an hour. So
Yeah,
we
well,
can talk a little more if you want to, man.
Sure. I was. We didn't get to the number one, which is,
Well, go through the list, dude. Let's have some fun with it.
okay. Well, I've skipped around, but after Chet Hanks was Mac Miller, which now I don't know if it's the fact that when musicians die they get this this treatment, but he's sort of a legend at this point.
Mhm.
I think he was at the time, but now it's really solidified that. So I think outside of his normal fan base that he would have had, it's grown exponentially.
Does that
since
mean
then.
that when you get airbrushed in a mall with angel wings on your picture, like that's where it is? That's the legend status? Like all the Dale Earnhardt material?
Oh, Dale Earnhardt,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Number 3, angel wings.
What's the other guy that died in the
Halo. helicopter? Davey Allison.
Davey
Kobe?
Allison. Kobe. That
Kobe.
guy too. Oh my God.
Fucking yeah, Mac Miller was interesting, and he was a big part, like, obviously, of my influence, but I kind of shied away at the time from like being a huge Mac Miller fan because of course I was a white rapper. He was my favorite one to get compared to, because I don't know if you guys know this, but if you become a white rapper, your entire life, everyone who talks to you will compare you to another white rapper and say who you sound like. And it fucking is annoying, but Mac Miller was one I never minded. I was always like, okay, compare me to Mac Miller. That's not bad. MGK drives me fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I sound
Understandable.
nothing
Yeah.
like fucking MGK.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Eminem's
You also-
always the go-to that people want to say, but
You also don't do the whiny part. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not fair to compare you to MGK.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out who I am musically, bro, honestly, because some days I feel like making funny shit. Some days I feel like making lyrical stuff. Some days, like the On Perk shit, I just made a decision. I'm going to make like a auto-tune, almost kind of future Lil Baby type. Like, I just have a lot that I do, man. And it seems like I finally reached a place where people are down to hear me do different stuff. They don't
Yeah.
want to just hear the same type of shit over and over again, or this is what this guy does, this is what you do. I think people know I do a lot of different shit and they're down for that, and that's a great fucking feeling.
Well, you laid that track where you have that freedom too. I mean, people understand, you're not just going to a chain food kind of thing with you. You're there's a lot of shit going on. And it's great. It's great to see you shine like that, to kind of change the lens of your talent and, you know, focus on something else, dude, it's fucking awesome.
Are you open to like collaborations with people too, or do you want to stick to your own stuff right now? Because you know, some people are only looking for that, but it seems like you've got your, you know, plenty for yourself at this point.
Yeah, the collaborations would just have to make sense.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to force anything with that. And a lot of the times, I think you're gonna find most of the times that the shit about the comedy world is just gonna be me, unless it's somebody else who gets it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But there's this rapper Jarv who was at Skankfest, who's very dope. I hope to make some music with him one day. I'd love to make some music with the Palmer Squares one day. And I think there's people out there that hopefully one day would make sense for me to collab with. People have suggested Lil Dicky. I don't know how much sense that makes because his type of humor is a little, I don't even want to say cleaner, but not cancelable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're right.
Because
You're
he
right.
will say shit and fuck and he'll do sexual shit, but he wouldn't do anything like racially or socially weird. Especially the higher and higher he gets, he's got a fucking Hollywood television show now.
Mm-hmm.
One that people have mentioned that really makes sense to me is Riff Raff. I would love to work with him one day, but it's all about just what makes sense. I'm not trying to force anything, and I feel like I'm really coming into my own right now and trying to figure out what my sound is. So I'm open to it. It just has to make sense.
Yeah, Riff Raff would be great. I know, like Theo Vaughn's really pretty close with him, right?
He's big on him.
So he's like at least aware of the comedy circuits, I guess you want to call it.
Oh yeah, and he's hilarious, bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
like a lot of the shit that he says, and I think the reason that him and Theo work so well together is they kind of have a similar thing going where they'll just say nonsensical shit confidently.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, he just said that like it was the truth, but it's crazy. So
Yeah.
there's no way it could be. And Riff Raff kind of does that too. So
that's some Louisiana shit right there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you know Brendan Sagalow, but he's been
they had the minor feud there.
Just say it. I would
never
like to
fucking
see,
heard of him.
I would like to maybe see that come to you now.
Have you heard my story behind originally trying to collab with him?
No.
I mean, I think I did, but yeah.
I originally tried to, and this is behind the curtain shit, but I already mentioned this on like whenever I streamed about me and Sagalow or whatever. But I was trying to, it just made sense to me. I was like, DM'd him. I was like, yo, I think we could get some kind of like beef going that the fans would be fucking into. I think we could drum some shit up and, you know, we wouldn't get too personal, but me and you could go back and forth at each other. And he was like, nah, man, I'm not really trying to do that. I haven't really been making music much lately. And I was like, okay, say less. I know you do comedy and shit, so that's fine. Just hit me up if you ever want to work together. And then like the next month, he just drops like 2 rap songs. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I guess you're now making music again. So I hit him up and I'm like, yo, did you want to work together, do a collab or anything? He was like, yeah, for sure. And it was going to be on the Wigga Cypher, who I ended up having Cam Groves on. He was supposed to be on it. And I was like, yeah, man. I gave him like about a month. I was like, just hit me with your verse when you can. So I gave him like, it had been 3 weeks at that point, and I was like, yo, so how's it coming with the verse and everything? And he was like, man, I'm sorry, I don't want to make you have to wait. I forgot about all of this. And I was just like, God damn it. I felt he wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but I felt slighted. And I felt like I had to do some shit about that. So I went on and talked a bunch of shit about him. But now we're cool. I met him at Skankfest and yeah, we're cool. But he did Lil Bro me.
I believe every bit of that, but
I don't Sagalow being Sagalow.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's gonna come up, and I probably will talk shit about him sometimes, and I'll probably say nice shit about him sometimes just to stir shit up and make it confusing, because the reality is me and him have to acknowledge each other, because we're both in the comedy world and he raps and I rap. So there has to be some relation between us at all times.
Brendan,
real Beatles and Rolling
Where's
Stones.
it at, Brendan? Yeah. Just call him Brandon when you see him. He fucking hates that. I know.
He does hate that.
Hey, Brandon, know your doing your comedy,
But yeah,
Oh.
I was never gonna like beef with him hardcore because he's a nice ass dude. He didn't
Yeah.
and he didn't mean to like fuck with me or anything like that. I was just taking it as an opportunity to like I basically used him as an opportunity to like stir some shit up.
hey, it can
And it's
work for
fun.
both of you though, you know.
That's
I
what I
know-
love about comedy too, is
Yeah.
like I can really make fun of anybody I want, and then if they can't take the joke, I'm be like, "You're supposed to be a comedian."
Yeah.
I'm fucking joking. Like it's not like beef rap where everything you say might lead to your fucking car getting shot up
Yeah.
and shit.
Well, there's a couple of people I think that I won't name names, but there's somebody's wife that he loves you that I think
Jesus.
you know, should well, he's got his own problems going on right now. But you know,
Are you talking about Brendan Schaub?
no, not Brendan Schaub. I was talking about Chris D'Elia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but you know, he's got his own deal, and
yeah, I mean that's tough. I mean, and people are piling on, and that's why I tried to kind of, I don't know, anybody in that situation. I think the one person that I kind of dissed in a way that wasn't strictly funny was Brendan.
yeah,
And but like I would never do anything with Shab as far as like talk about his kids, and like I mentioned that he cheated on his wife, but I would never talk shit about his wife. Like there's just some areas I wouldn't go unless somebody wanted to take it there. But like I'm not doing crazy shit. Like yeah, I'm not
yeah,
even gonna say anything.
well, you know that also the Schaub thing brought itself out to. It's not like you were, you know, uncovering this. It was out there, man. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
so it's like, I think it's fair game for sure. And dude, everybody was talking about it, so it was, you know, it's fair game. I think.
Yours just happened to be really, really funny.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny as hell, but it's just, you know, again, if that gets him to pack it in and give up, then he shouldn't be in there in the first place, probably, you know. Sorry, but back to, we were talking about the Wiggers. I know
Wigglers, yeah.
What was it? Was there one before the top that I was gonna ask? Well, I'll just get it. Elvis Presley was the number one, right?
That's a good one. That
Yeah.
was a stroke of genius.
The pioneer.
Elvis Presley definitely
100%.
definitely deserves to be on that list. Definitely at the top, because all he did was take his whole swagger, everything from the black community,
The clothes,
the dancing, everything.
being in jail.
Yeah. And dating underage white girls.
Yeah, the whole thing, man. He just took the entire Chuck Berry playbook. He was like, you know what? I'm taking it.
I heard he stole shit.
Yeah,
too.
he stole
That's
shit.
black.
Yeah. He was fucked up all the time. No,
But yeah,
Yeah.
Elvis was that guy, man. Fucking something the study of Elvis is just amazing, because you find out that I don't know. It seems like the more you look in history, that white people didn't so much hate black people as much as they feared them, and they feared their talents, and they said, no, we don't like that shit. We don't like that black shit. But then a white guy comes along and does all the same shit, and we're like, we fucking love this more than anything we've fucking ever seen. So that's very telling that like a lot of those old racist white people truly admired and appreciated a lot of black art. And it's just, it's a weird thing.
Yeah,
Well,
and then they
just
move their
a thing.
podcast to South Carolina and they get pissed off by Santa strap tray.
but he got
taking
pushed
pictures
back.
of black bitches.
Yeah. No, it's scaffolding, man. What the fuck?
Come on, Anthony.
Yeah. But he got pushed back from like the Tin Pan Alley crew, like the Sinatras and those guys at the time. But
there's that famous quote where he's calling him a no talented punk, and
he's like,
crazy music won't
want to run out of town. And what, that was just because again they were fearful of like his success. They didn't want. It wasn't, you know, that I doubt they really felt that way, because later on he covers his music.
Clearly, admiration and jealousy both present. So
yeah. But yeah, it's true. Like all that stuff, those basically rock and roll was in these clubs, these like Little Richard, Ike Turner, all these guys were playing like rock and roll, and it was suppressed. Ray Charles, all that suppressed until Elvis Presley comes out
Mhm.
and does their act for them,
Shakes his dick on the show and he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have
Again, a wigger thing. Jesus Christ, even more.
we should have
More and more.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a genius spot.
I got one.
Jesus.
This is just a question. What do you guys think about this one?
Johnny Carson.
This is a historical one. Thomas Jefferson.
Just what do I think about him?
Well, I mean, as far as being a wigger because of his
No, he's kind of
was he just an asshole?
Yeah, he's kind of an asshole.
Thomas Jefferson was very detrimental to black people.
I guess so. He just raped. Was it more rape than it was
much rape? Yeah,
Thomas Jefferson.
He had a wife.
Thomas Jefferson appears to be one of the biggest hypocrites in history because it seemed like he was basically against everything that he did. You know, like when you see like these politicians that are staunch against like gay rights and stuff like that, and then you find out they're getting fucked in the butt and doing meth and shit. He seemed like kind of that guy. But fuck, I mean, shit, founding father, salute.
Also, and I hate to be controversial, his hair was stupid.
Yeah, a lot of those boys had fucked up haircuts.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
his hair was real stupid. So
I imagine how scary some of those motherfuckers must have been. Like I don't know if you guys have heard, but like the whole wooden teeth thing.
Not true. Yeah,
and
I think a certain
I think is actually
has a great bit about that.
Yeah, but just seeing that type of shit and like the powder on their face and the wigs, these motherfuckers would be some of the scariest people you've ever seen in your life.
Well, that was to hide syphilis most of the time. Seriously.
Oh, well, I need to try that.
Symptoms of syphilis. Yeah,
I got to try that.
The powdered, well,
the leaking out of my dick doesn't hide that. I'll tell you that.
Well, advanced syphilis, they leave fucking holes in your face and shit like that, so they would draw the moles in and all that stuff. The French aristocracy.
Can you imagine coming out like
syphilis?
You're fighting in the Revolutionary War, and you're used to fighting like line style or whatever they call it, and these guys are coming out of the woods and they got fucking makeup faces on and slave teeth.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's a nightmare.
That's how we made this country.
Yeah.
And you had a motherfucker just fucking playing a flute.
Yep.
Just walking through with a fucking flute. Like, I hope shit don't happen to me.
Yeah.
That was like the original Nightmare or original Friday the 13th shit or Halloween.
Yeah, they had their own soundtrack. It's like fucking dudes. WWE entrance music.
There was three dudes in every regiment you didn't want to be. You didn't want to be the flag carrier, you didn't want to be the flute guy, and you didn't want to be the drum dude. It's like, okay, where's my gun? Like, nah, here you go. Well, I'm at the back, right? No, you're at the motherfucking front. You are at the lead of this army.
They didn't even give the drum guy any sort of side piece or anything, man.
He didn't have sidearms.
Dude, he was keeping it all together, too.
No, dude.
He's the backbone of that war.
It had to be, honestly, bro. Like living any time before probably the late 1950s had to just fucking suck. I mean, I guess you didn't know any better, but like, I don't know. It just seems like a shitty. There's
like no infrastructure. It was like running water was, hard to come by, and electricity you didn't have. That would suck, man. I mean, you get by, but you do shit like powder your face and fucking, cut people's teeth out and put them in your mouth.
You pull the teeth out.
What? Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Of corpses.
The perfect life, the perfect duration of life, honestly, are probably people that are like dying right now before it gets like super, like we just have like iPads coming out of our fucking foreheads and shit. Yeah. Because they were born in like the fucking 50s and 60s and were kind of a kid through that shit, and they got to enjoy America through the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even early 2000s, and then they just croak before we get weird.
They saw progress. They saw progress before the division of the 2020s. Not late. Yeah,
got to enjoy the internet just a little bit. Yeah, that's not.
They got the advent of porn jacking. Like, really, I can get naked pictures whenever I want. I'm in heaven. I've got a pill where my penis works.
Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine if you were like 70 years old, about to fucking die, and they invented Viagra that year, and you're like, dude, you motherfuckers!
Best time to be an old person. Time. Yeah, dude, the whole best time to be an old person ever.
Yeah, I was thinking we were talking about doing that idea with like it was a sketch idea we were throwing around about the parents being like acting like teenagers, whatever it was, but an adult of that age throwing a fucking like porn magazine to a kid.
Yeah,
they're going like, thought, oh, that's fucking sick. Somebody printed all these
Dude.
pictures out on the internet and glued them together. Like,
I don't want anybody's spunk pictures.
what the fuck is this? That's the way you had to do it back in the day.
Yeah,
That's-
well,
And then no, but I'm saying
we remember it fondly.
that was a milestone. You got past that and you get the internet jacking. And now they have, I mean, it's virtual now. You know,
I'm not ready for that. I don't think I'll ever go that way.
What's weird for me too is I kind of lived in a time that was like I kind of was on the back end of some shit. And
Yeah.
and now, of course, like everybody else, you're fucking a click away from every porn video that you ever want to see. But I lived as a kid in a weird time where the shit was on the computer, but your phone ain't going to the fucking internet, and your family computer is in one room. So
Yep.
when your parents leave the house, like you got a certain window that you get to use that shit.
Yep.
But if your family computer is not open, you're all imagination, brother. And I did jack to some Playboys. It's just a weird thing where like somebody fucking 5 years probably younger than me would be like, you jacked off to a magazine, but like I understand because I didn't have a phone in my pocket 24/7.
Right.
Yep.
I had to make do.
Yeah,
But
you feel like a pioneer.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, this is how we did it back in the day.
You just wanted it
Yeah.
more than you know, like
couldn't find a Playboy. Well, you made do with a Maxim.
we got a friend that we were talking to, I don't know, we were talking about jacking off when you're a kid or whatever. And he said the first time he ever jerked off, it was a fucking he always heard you had to jerk off to a magazine, or
Use
like
a
people were jerking
magazine.
off to a magazine. And he said, so he thought what you had to do was roll it up.
He rolled up the magazine and fucked the
He
magazine.
fucked the
what
magazine.
the fuck? What an idiot.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
he's so weird.
Yeah. So I just how did he not get paper cuts?
What happened when he unrolled it? You know, it just had to go everywhere.
He
That's
thought
gonna be a quick.
yeah,
It's
that's
like
true.
a cum grenade at that point. It's like,
It's like a Tool song.
yeah, dude, it's like a paintball grenade. It's all
Yes,
fucked up.
I did
Just-
fucking paint some fucking magazines in my day. Once
It-
like sometimes it was just you were feeling good and you just had to let it go
You
on the
couldn't,
fucking
move, you
page.
couldn't move in time, dude.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I actually had talking about shit that you jack off to when you're a kid that's not even like completely sexual. I know like Soder had the fucking whatever it was with Kiana or whatever, the
Yeah,
ESPN
yeah.
workout shit.
Hell yeah, dude.
For me, it was I used to be I still am. I love fucking Madden. Like Madden's one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
I've always played, even when I was a kid. I was like that 10-year-old kid creating my own team and doing franchise. They had cameos in those EA Sports games where you could see different like it would be different coaches and different players being like EA Sports. It's in the game.
Right.
They had one in the early Maddens that was you could click on every single team's cheerleaders and they all had a
Nice.
game
There you
logo,
go.
and you would click Redskins and it would be them with the pom-poms like EA Sports, it's in the game. And you just had all 32 of them. And I had like my 5 favorites.
Nice.
That was my jerk material.
I mean, like,
Were the Cowboys in the listing of the 5 favorites?
oh, the Cowboys.
Oh, of
cheerleaders?
course.
Yeah, okay. I'm just
I thought you
I'm
were
a
like,
Cowboys fan, by the way.
no kidding.
Yeah, I want to say unfortunately, but we're supposed to be good right now. Like our record is very good, but we're not. And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I feel like Tom Brady's about to shit all over us tomorrow. But
yeah,
That's
it's due.
That's his way. Yeah.
He's due for the Super Bowl every other year.
Ugh.
are you guys Panthers fans?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking painful, man. It's
Yeah, it just
painful.
feels like you guys are a minute away from your next success. But the Cam years were fun.
They were fun.
Cam years were fun.
I loved
2015-16 was good.
when he was like from his rookie year to that Super Bowl year, it was
Mhm.
awesome. And then shit went bad.
Now I feel like we're the fucking Cleveland Indians in fucking Major League. It's like, yeah, well, this year they're gonna try to sell the team, so we're gonna tank it.
Dude, it's like
Christian
all of-
McCaffrey losing must have fucking broke your heart.
yeah,
I was
that
happy to see him go free. That's how much I love the guy. right?
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? You just go be happy. You go play and run that football, not just
Just
up the
treat him
middle.
nice. I think he said that to Dan Soder. I was like,
Yeah.
you got just make sure he gets plenty of
Yeah,
water.
And,
Likes catching the football.
oh, make sure he stretches that hamstring. You want to make sure you stretch that hamstring.
treat him right.
Yeah. Had trouble with that
Treat him
hamstring.
right. Yeah.
Give him a burger.
When you're talking about the looking at the cheerleaders on the Madden thing, it's like
Dude, I could I could rub one out to that right now. There's no way I couldn't. That's
What if
that's
you,
timeless.
what if you accidentally hit the thing and it was Andy Reid though?
I keep going.
Yeah.
No, you know what? They ain't all
Good,
tens.
it's a good coach.
Yeah, just power through that.
Yeah. Andy.
You know, Andy's doing it too. So
He's like, all right, finish up.
I think it would be worse for me if I was Andy Reid and saw myself.
Do you think Andy Reid? Actually,
Yeah,
I think Andy
Reid.
Reid looks in the mirror and jerks off, dude.
No way.
I feel like he's that much of a. He's got the mental game.
I think he hides. He covers every mirror in his house like fucking Dracula. Just
Dude,
like no way.
I think he wears the fucking big red coat when he fucks.
For sure.
Like,
that's
that's all he
power
has
move,
left
yeah.
on.
Makes the prostitute call him coach.
I think Andy Reid looks like Tusk when he jerks off, like
Sure.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah. He's playing Fleetwood Mac in the background.
Oh yeah. Andy Reid's all right, man. I like.
What's your next wigger? I got.
Oh, that was
that was okay. No,
I mean, there was a full list.
I
But
just wanted to make sure we didn't miss any. The Elvis thing was beautiful. I fucking loved it, man. It's
I didn't want to ruin the
straight.
entire.
Well, now we got Andy Reid jerking it or having sex while wearing his red jacket.
Yeah, but in that Madden game, it probably would have been a green jacket.
Yeah, I think that was.
I used to not care for him back in the day, but now I kind of fuck with him.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's one thing that is going to be kind of weird for me when I do go to Philly. Is I am a Cowboys fan, but I'm not so much a Cowboys fan that I'd be like, I don't know. I care a lot less than I used to. I mean, this team has fucking just abused my hopes. Like it's just, at least with the Panthers, you guys can be like, well, we're not supposed to be good.
Right.
Yeah.
Cowboys have been supposed to be good for the past 20 years.
Yeah, they're always supposed to be.
Since Troy Aikman left.
They're supposed to be America's team, and they're always supposed to be one of the top teams. But dude, like, yeah, there's just been a lot of bad breaks there though. With
Literally.
yeah, like I mean, well, you know, Dak getting hurt, and then I don't know. It just seems like every time there was momentum, something gets pushed back, and then I don't know, man.
Maybe they need to start smoking crack again because they were good when they smoked crack.
Yeah,
like crack.
Michael Irvin was leading the fucking charge.
That's a football sport or a football drug right there. Crack.
Have you ever seen that Caleb Presley interview with Michael Irvin?
No, I have not.
Oh, dude,
that's another guy that I would love to work with one day.
Caleb
Presley is the shit.
These two guys would be a fucking dream combo.
Yes.
Yeah, that dude's fucking hilarious.
He's great. He was
another UNC guy, right?
Yeah, he was UNC quarterback, and then he lived in Asheville, or he went to high school in Asheville, and he was on what's that guy's name, the country singer? Oh shit, can't remember the guy's name. He's very famous, and I can't think of his goddamn name now.
Zach Brown?
No, he went to App State, but
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his fucking
something
name.
about 2 beers or something. I don't know the guy's name.
I can't remember his name either. It's not Willie Nelson. I'll tell you that.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. Anyway, they went to high school together, and then some other country singer went to the same school. All these motherfuckers went to the same high school together, played football together. I don't know.
Pretty wild.
I guess. It's really not that crazy. I just made it more crazy in my head.
This is crazy. Not the Old Crow Medicine Show.
No, they
were there when they were at App State when I was there.
Yeah.
That's one of those songs that I ended up having to fucking learn. Didn't even necessarily really like it. Fucking Wagon Wheel.
Yep.
Just especially through my fucking partying, drug and alcohol addict years. You'd be at a bar and it's gonna play at every fucking bar you go to. So you're either gonna sit there like fucking white people or sing along with everybody. And I chose to sing along. So
don't let them beat you.
Luke Combs is the guy.
Luke Combs.
Yeah.
And Chase Rice also went to that school with him. He went both.
No Asian jokes. Just keep it to yourself.
Chase Rice is
Chase's Rice.
Yeah.
He's an automotive. He's a NASCAR driver in Korea.
Well, for various reasons, we know that's not true.
I didn't say he was good.
Well,
I didn't say he even got off the starting line.
He only had the one race.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. We're going to hell.
Yeah. No,
I love it.
Fine. It's fine. Well, dude, yeah, I know we definitely kept you long this time, but too long, excuse me. Let me start that over again. We kept you too long this time for sure. So
You have trouble getting out of gear?
I am, dude. I'm thinking about the collision at the
Yeah, oh gosh.
a Korean.
Pretty sure it's a Family Guy bit.
I'm thinking about a Korean NASCAR where everybody just
Yeah.
like fucking wrecks at the starting line. It's just sorry. Sorry. But dude, yeah, this has been awesome, man. Hopefully you come back and we can do this again. And
I know you won't
talk
because
more
you're definitely gonna be too big for us after this
Yeah.
Philly trip.
for sure.
We are so honestly so pleased we got to talk to you.
Yeah, man.
It's been a real pleasure.
It's great seeing everything you're doing and can't wait to see what you do next for sure, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I truly I want to say, like, it's great to meet you guys. It's great to meet some fellow Carolinians putting in work. And you know, I see everything as far as the support and the love on Twitter, and I truly appreciate that, guys. It means a lot. So
Well,
Hey,
we're fans.
I appreciate it, and I'll be back on here. Maybe
yeah.
not in like 3 years, but
Yeah.
get me on next year. I'll still be kicking around.
all right.
Yeah.
I won't be
Hey,
famous yet.
And if you're in Philly, we'll
We want to
maybe-
follow your exploits. We want to see what you're doing.
we may see you up there too. Just we
Oh yeah,
visit there.
we're heading back there sometimes.
Yeah,
So,
visiting
yeah.
up there. So either way, we'll stay in touch, man. And then you know,
And hit us up anytime for whatever, dude. We're always happy to hear
Yep.
from you.
Yeah, man, sounds good. I appreciate y'all, man. We'll talk
All right,
soon.
bro.
all
Good
right,
luck.
I did
Peace, guys.
later.
Later.